My name is Gillian Bieler, and I'm the Clinical Director of Outpatient Services at Clearview Treatment Programs. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, certified sex addiction therapist, and mindfulness-based addiction and trauma therapist. I think at the end of the day, when people ask me why I keep doing it, it's because of the small victories, right? We get to see our clients celebrate lengths of sobriety. We see them get their first job. We see them get married. And it's those little victories that we get so excited, that growth that our clients have, that's what kind of keeps me coming back. If I've had one of those days where it's like meeting after meeting and all these different administrative things and all, those tasks, those necessary but maybe not as fulfilling tasks, but then maybe a client pops into my office and says, hey, I took my 90-day chip this week. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, that's why I do this, So it is hard work, but it is really, really rewarding. Letting parents know too that there's gonna be uncomfortable conversations, there's gonna be uncomfortable questions, but who better to hold that space for their young adult or child than the parents, So I think that it's important for us to let go of these ideas that we can't talk about certain things. Just talk about it. I know if my parents had talked to me about drugs at an earlier age, my life may have ended up a little bit differently, but here we are, So I think one of the things that is super important, and I pride myself on, is coming from a very relational place. Having my own experience being in recovery and having my own experience, with my own mental health journey, it's just meet them where they're at and say, hey, I know this is scary for you, or I know you feel like you have it, like you've got it figured out, but just let's see what could be done differently. Just really meeting them exactly where they are. I don't like to try to push anyone harder than they're ready to work, and leaning into the relationship. And we're all humans. We all have needs, we all have wants, we all have pain and suffering and challenges, and how do we meet on a human level to overcome that? They might have the same diagnosis on paper, they may have the same, substance of choice in their addiction, but everyone that walks in the door is their own unique, complex individual. I think that's also one of the special things about being a therapist, is that we get to really figure out who that person is and tailor their needs, tailor their treatment to exactly how they're going to receive it in a way that's productive. I think that's such a good question, and I work with families all the time on this stuff. It's not so much what they need to know. It's not so much what can I teach you, what can I explain to you. It's providing a safe and open space to come to you and say, hey dad, or hey mom, or hey whoever, my friends are experimenting with drugs and I don't know how I feel about that. Creating a safe space and a space that they know they're not gonna get in trouble, that you just wanna support them and help them understand their fears, their needs. It goes a long way. I think about a lot of the family systems that I've worked with where you don't talk about bad stuff. You don't talk about sex and drugs and getting in trouble. Like, everything is just keep appearances good. But the reality is it's out there. Drugs are out there. Kids are getting into trouble. Kids are doing things they, shouldn't be doing at younger and younger ages. But if they feel like they have a support system, whether it is their parents or a therapist or, a guidance counselor or somebody that's just gonna hear them, just create that space to share their feelings, they are a lot less likely to get themselves into dangerous or unsafe situations because they know that they can talk to somebody about it. I mean, it sounds so simple, and it sounds like probably every therapist's kind of answer, but it really, it means a lot to me, is really destroying the stigma around getting help. I know there's stigma around drug use, there's stigma around mental health, but I think the bigger stigma that we're facing is, actually asking for help. People, they come to treatment and they say, well, I'm not telling anybody I'm here, just my mom and dad, or just my husband. I can't tell anybody that I'm here. Why not? What's the problem? with saying, I've hit this wall, or I've recognized this pattern and I'm doing something to get help. That if I could have like a magic wand and fix something in this world, it would really be to end the stigma around getting help and recognizing that asking for help is the bravest thing anyone can do, and taking ownership and taking pride in your healing journey. I mean, there's literally nothing more magical than that. So that's what I would want, to take away the stigma of choosing to get well, choosing to get help.